I've just returned from a 3,000-kilometer bikepacking event across South America on a dirty bike behind me. Full video on that bike is linked down below. But today, I want to talk about and share with you some of the smaller equipment choices that I found essential on a day-to-day basis and definitely helped me survive the 2-week adventure through Chile and Argentina. And in no particular order, I'll put a chapter link down below so you can skip ahead if you want. And do let me know what you think is essential when doing a bikepacking adventure by dropping a comment down below. But for me, one of the daily essentials, my morning routine, was to apply some chamois cream. There are loads on the market, but Ars Magic supported my endeavor and they're offering a discount code, just ride bike 20 at their website, arsmagic.com. I use their travel sachets, these small sachets here. I have one for every day of the ride, so 14 in total, but I found there's enough in there to do 2 rides quite easily, and how much you apply depends on how uncomfortable you are down below. But having chamois cream, I found just prevented any issues from developing down below, any infections, and just made it more comfortable to ride a bike for up to 12 hours on some days. So that was definitely my essential morning routine. And then next up, last year for Badlands, I used a Wahoo computer, which was great until the battery ran flat. So this time I used the Coros Dura computer, and the battery life on this, the runtime, is insanely impressive. I claimed 120 hours. I charged the battery twice just because I had the opportunity to charge the battery. Didn't need to, just had the opportunity in a lodging or just had spare battery capacity to charge it. And the runtime on that was just fantastic, and one less thing to worry about on a 2-week adventure when you're charging your gears, your cameras, your phone, and other devices. So having that as one less thing to worry about was fantastic. And I also found the simplicity of it really nice as well. The navigation works extremely well, very easy to follow a route on the mapping page, had no missed turns, no issues with following the route on road or gravel, enough detail on the map to see where you're riding. And the simplicity of it, yeah, just worked a charm. You're looking at it occasionally, not really staring at a computer like you might do on a club ride or a race. So that level of detail and information on there, yeah, worked fine for 2 weeks. So that's definitely something I'm very happy to use and something I would deem essential, having a good long running battery life on a GPS computer. Like I say, one less thing to worry about. And there are computers out there with good run times like the Wahoo Ace and the Garmin Edge 1040 and 1050, but this one definitely trumps all those rivals in the runtime department. So that was definitely something I'm very happy to have on my bike this time. Another essential for me was having 2 battery banks. Last year at Badlands I had one big battery bank, but it failed, and when it failed I was a bit stuck. So having 2 was my solution, and it worked really well. A large one for bigger devices like lights and cameras, and a small one just for my smartphone. And these both have a USB-C cable built in, which is very convenient, and they both have a display showing the remaining battery life. And that for me was a real game changer. Just knowing what the battery level was in there without guessing from LED lights just made it much easier to manage your runtime in these devices. This one has a torch on there as well, so quite handy when camping. It also had a dynamo front hub powering or charging this one during the daytime as well, but the capacity of this one was so massive it wasn't really needed. So for me, having 2 smaller battery banks rather than one big battery bank for that peace of mind if one fails, is definitely the way to go. So those were 2 essentials for me, keeping everything topped up. Another surprising essential for me was the electric pump. I actually had this as well as a regular old-fashioned hand pump on the bike as a backup, but because the event was roughly 60% on road, on pavement, and 40% on gravel, and doing big chunks of road and then big chunks of gravel, I found myself actually using this on a regular basis to inflate my tires to road pressures, then deflating for gravel to get more traction and more comfort, and then reinflating to the road pressures when that gravel section was over. So I actually use this quite often, quite a lot of times, and I wasn't alone. Other people I was riding with were doing the same as me, having a trick of inflating and deflating the tire to suit the gravel or road sections we were on. And having a pressure gauge on there takes away the guesswork of what tire pressure you're at. So that for me was a surprising essential, and I'll definitely use one of these again on a bikepacking trip, but still with the backup of an old-fashioned manual pump in case this one failed for any reason. Another essential was chain lube, and for the mixed conditions I went with a wet lube rather than a dry lube or a wax lube. A wax chain won't last 2 weeks at all, and I used a Silka Synergetic because you don't need much at all, and it keeps the chain running smoothly and quietly, and it copes when it's muddy, when it's raining, and when it's dry too. And you don't need much to keep the chain running quietly. 1 drop per link is enough, and I let other people use it as well, and it lasted for ages. Yeah, so that is my recommendation for a chain lube. There are other wet lubes out there, but this one I think one of the best out there. Just works a treat. Nice quiet chain, reduces wear, and yeah, no issues on that front at all. Next up is a pair of photochromic lenses. These are a Rudy Project Spin Shield Pro. We're riding 12 hours a day sometimes, starting before sunrise and finishing in sunset. And often it's very bright and sunny, and our days are cloudy, we had some rain. So having a single glass lens that can cope with such a range of conditions was just an essential. Not having a lens that was too dark or too light for any given conditions. One that could deal with everything really well and adjust without you noticing that difference at all. That for me is an essential. I wore these all the time, only when it was dark, or was I sleeping, or was I not wearing them? So they were an essential for me, just having that lens that was offering the perfect shade for any light condition you were finding yourself in. So yeah, good clarity. They also offer good coverage as well with a big tall lens, very comfortable, nice soft nose piece, very lightweight as well, and strong and sturdy. I dropped them a few times and they're still in one piece and not scratched. So those were an essential for me. Today's video is proudly sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a professional looking website in 2026. And with Squarespace, both easy and quick to build a brand new website this year. So if you're a bike shop and need a brand new website to sell cool bike products, then with Squarespace, it couldn't be any easier. Simply choose from a massive library of award-winning, slick, professional templates, and then customize the way it looks and functions with a nice, easy drag and drop interface. Add your company logo, add a photo, change your color, add text, and much more. And then there's a big array of plugins that suit all your requirements. From setting up easy, quick online payments, running newsletters, selling digital products, online courses, blogging, photo galleries, much more. There's a solution for every requirement on Squarespace. And if all that sounds like too much trouble, there's even AI that do all the hard work for you. Simply answer a few questions and a bespoke website is generated for you in seconds. So find out right now how easy building a website is with Squarespace with a free trial linked down below. And if you enjoy it, which I'm sure you will, there's 10% off your first purchase of a brand new website or domain with my discount code on screen right now. Talking of visibility, we're riding sometimes on busy roads and sometimes at night time in low light, and we were recommended to wear a high visibility vest, and there are quite a few in the market. I had this one from Dura, which I tested many years ago, and it's simply a lightweight reflective vest, and you put it over your jacket, over jersey, and just gives you that peace of mind, a bit of extra confidence that other road users can see you. Hi-Viz, bright yellow, doesn't offer any insulation or get in the way of your fabric from your jacket doing its job. So yeah, that was and it's very lightweight, very compact. You can stash it in your bag and just have that for the early morning rides or the late evening rides, or you ride into a city. Just a bit of peace of mind. You don't need it, it's not essential. We were recommended to wear one, and I found it, I wore it quite a lot actually. So that is definitely one worth adding if you are doing a multi-day bikepacking trip through cities and through countrysides. And also from Dura, not sponsoring today's video, but they make some good products for bikepacking. I traveled extremely light, went out on the plane with just the bike and a box and all my other possessions in this super lightweight backpack from Dura. And this is great during an event as well. If you're going to a campsite in the evening and doing a gas station raid for dinner, you can fill this up with all your snacks and bottles of water and carry that on your back to the campsite, and then sort out all your stuff from here, food, your water, into your bags for the next day's ride. It's nice and easy to use as well with roll top closure, very strong and sturdy despite its lightweight construction, and it folds up or rolls up really small as well, so you can carry it in your bike packing bag, as I demonstrate. So there you go, you have something that small with a Velcro strap on there to strap around your frame or bag. So that is very useful when you're traveling out to an event or during an event when you need to a supermarket raid and get some stuff for camp. So that's very useful. You can never have enough bags when you're bike packing, and that's a useful bag to have. You could use a cotton musette like the pros use for something like that, or you get some very lightweight sort of sports bags from sports shops as well. There are other bags that do a similar job. Running tubeless is a no-brainer for a bike packing adventure like this, and thankfully I had no punctures. Very, very lucky indeed. But I made sure to minimize the risk of a puncture by running tubeless with Silka Ultimate Sealant in the tyres. And there are loads of sealants on the market, everyone has their favourite. I find this one works extremely well for bigger punctures. It seems to deal with bigger holes that you get when riding off-road, and you can now inject it via the valve. And I actually put in more into the tyre than they recommend to really doubly increase my or minimise my chance of getting a puncture. So tubeless and a good high quality sealant is essential. Another essential was having plenty of spare inner tubes. As good as tubeless is, it's good to have the ultimate fail-safe backup, and I had 3 spare TPU inner tubes. The Parley had down tube storage, so I basically stuffed the down tube full of inner tubes and managed to get 3 in there. And Bootail is probably more robust, but these are lightweight. And although I'm no weight weenie, keeping the weight of the build low as possible, as I could reasonably get to, was quite important. So I had 3 TPU inner tubes just in case. And having 3 spare inner tubes is definitely overkill. I know that, I realise that. And 1, maybe 2 is more than enough. But I wanted that ultimate peace of mind that if I had a nightmare of a day, I had plenty of inner tubes to get me out of a sticky problem. And my last puncture essential, which thankfully I never used, was this small capsule pill with a stash of Dynaplugs in here. And what I like about a Dynaplug is that brass pointed tip makes getting the plug into the hole in a tyre quick and easy compared to other tubeless repair kits out there, which is why I like it. I buy these with my own money, not sponsored by them at all. And yes, they are expensive compared to other systems out there. But when you use these, when you see them in action, yeah, they're definitely worth the money. But thankfully, didn't have to use it, but it's there in case I need it. Another essential, goes without saying, is a good multi-tool. And I use this one from Topeak, the Mini PT30, because I was traveling out there and having to build a bike from a box with minimal tools, no toolkit with me because I'm traveling light. So this tool had everything on there I needed, from the 8mm pedal spanner, a chain breaker just in case, a spoke key, a T25, all the Allen keys you can need, and has plenty of that, got a little knife as well. So all the tools you could possibly need, because if you're building a bike in the airport, you need a good, well-equipped multi-tool. And thankfully, didn't need much use from it at all, but there if I need it. And another useful tool, possibly a bit overkill and a bit weighty, is this pair of, like a Swiss Army knife, but a cheaper version, essentially from a company called Blue Mountain, I think from a camping store. It basically gives me a pair of pliers, and a pair of pliers is always useful to have that to fix any issue. And then I've got a nice knife if I'm cutting up food, got a bottle opener, a Phillips head screwdriver. There's a serrated, if I'm doing some Ray Mears action at the campsite, more tools than I could ever imagine I'd ever need, but that's useful. I think the pair of pliers is probably the most useful, because sometimes you need a good pair of pliers to fix any mechanical issues on the bike. So those are my 2 main tools to hopefully sort out any issues that might have occurred, but thankfully didn't during my 2-week adventure. Another absolute essential for me was a roll of electrical tape. Gaff tape is quite commonly used for fixing many issues on a bike when stuff breaks, but I find electrical tape just works better, a bit nicer. And I actually used this for real during the event, as the bracket for my front light collapsed. So I used this to tape the front light to my tri extensions, and it held out for 10 days. And I just took the whole roll with me because I had a bag of spares, so I had no issue with space. Some people would take the tape and put it around the pump, give you a few layers if you need it to save space and weight, but I just took the whole roll with me, and yeah, definitely an essential. Electrical tape, you can't beat it. I don't normally ride with gloves at home unless it's cold, but in the summer I don't ride with gloves. But for riding 2 weeks over some rough gravel and doing 10, 12-hour days, I use gloves. I had some big winter gloves, I had some thin, long finger gloves, and some fingerless mitts, which I don't normally wear, but having the gel padding on my palms and just stopping your hand wearing out, I found was a big factor in my comfort throughout the event and just surviving some quite punching riding. So I had some nice Castelli gel padded mitts, and the lightweight, take up no space, good for wiping your nose or sweat from your brow when it's hot, and just having that bit of extra padding on your palms and stop your hands wearing out and just stop your hand turning into a mess. My hands, they don't look so bad after 2 weeks of riding. So definitely a pair of high quality fingerless mitts if you're riding in warm weather, and having some long finger ones as well when it's colder. Another essential for me was a charger for the SRAM Axis battery. The normal charging pod does one battery at a time, and they do a 4-way, but I found a 2-way on eBay or Amazon, and it has a USB-C connector. So I tried to get all my devices to have a USB-C cable to make charging much easier. And the only device that didn't have USB-C was the GPS tracker, which had micro USB. So that's the only one, but everything else had USB-C, even the pump, the computer, my camera. So that 2-way with a battery in there, charged, and being able to charge it out of a battery, that was really useful. And that's one benefit of SRAM over Shimano, so you can charge a battery away from the bike in your lodging, hotel, or in a tent, and then just swap it out as you need. I was actually, no lie, riding up quite a long climb on day 7 or 8, nice road climb, and I used them all the gears, and I got to the top, literally crested the summit of the climb. I went to shift to a bigger gear, but the battery ran flat. It ran flat right at the top of the hill, but I had this in my bag, so I simply stopped by the side of the road, leant the bike up against the barrier, took the battery out, put the new one in, and I was away. No issues at all. If you get a flat battery with Shimano out on the road, yeah, it's a bit trickier you can't swap the battery, you have to charge it on the move. Another essential for me is, of course, a camera for capturing all the action, and I'm sponsored by Insta360, and I use the Go Ultra for my adventure because you can remove the actual camera from the pod and have that on its own, to hand hold it, or put it in here to have that vlogging screen there and to charge the camera as well. So that's a really cool camera. You can find a link to that down below. And the last product I really enjoyed having on my bike was a Tailfin top tube bag, but one with a flap that goes over top. Normally these top tube bags have a zipper, but it gives you tricky access to the internals, but having that flap over top means you get into the whole cavity, the whole space of that bag much more easily. And having that top tube bag is so useful for having any easy access essential you might need during the ride. I mostly use it for my battery banks, but also my smartphone. I have my suntan lotion in there as well, and sometimes a few snacks as well. So you can just put stuff you need in there, just reach it very easily. And like I say, having that flap, it's waterproof, worked extremely well. But I'll do a full breakdown of what I think you need for a bikepacking trip, from sleeping equipment to stove equipment to what bags you use, the different systems on the market from Tailfin, Apidura and others, what tires to use in a future video. So make sure to stay tuned for that very soon. And you do that by hitting that subscribe button just down below. And if you want to see a full detailed breakdown of this bike and the equipment on the bike, then watch this video right up here. And of course, make sure to head to Squarespace today for a brand new website using my discount code linked down below. But that is all today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.